What's up, everybody? I am back, and it's been a long time. If you want the short story, it's been busy with work, school, and just life in general, so I have not been able to produce any content. I am back, and I want to get this video started, so let's get right into it. Before we get started, the first thing I want to do is give a big shout out to some of my friends and everything, especially my boy Dylan, who I'll tag below, and his website. He does a lot of these photography things. Shout out to Twig for the idea of this. So if you guys are interested in those stickers, comment below. You get some produced for you, or we're working on other ideas. So the video today is something that I have kind of stepped back and looked over a lot. It's something I believe that not enough medical professionals or just students getting into a medical profession truly understand, and it's just finances. It's just managing your money and budgeting. What I see being an issue is we go on to the idea that, okay, we'll be making this much money, we'll be making a lot once we're out of school, that we don't have to worry about anything. And the problem is, doesn't work like that. You do make a decent amount to live with, but the issue that arises is how much you have to pay to get to that spot. Student loans, paying through college, if you're paying off rents, car loans, whatever other expenses come along with that, you don't realize how much that adds up. So I want to give you some tips to pay attention to and things that help you take care of your budget. All right, so the first thing I want to get into, and probably the best way to start, is to make a budget plan. So it's nothing fancy. You can do it on your computer, get a Google Doc or just an Excel sheet of what your expenses are. Get a breakdown of your monthly expenses and whatever income you're making. Anything you spend your money on, get it tracked, whether it's a Starbucks coffee or you just pay for rent. Manage all that, get it written down every month, and then also whatever income you have coming in. So just a great way to kind of get started figuring out what you can do to start saving money and be able to allocate it to something else. My second tip is, once you figure out what your budget is, and if you realize that you're spending too much money on stuff and not making enough, it's good to sit down and kind of look at the little expenses that you have and see if you definitely need it. And if you're definitely an overspender or like to spend on things, think about, what do you absolutely need? You need food, so you gotta get groceries, you gotta pay for rent if you're renting, you got to take care of all the bills, any type of bills or loan or auto loans that you have to pay. Those things are necessities. But there's other things. Going to Starbucks for coffee, you don't need Starbucks coffee. You can make it at home way cheaper, or just don't drink coffee at all, which will never happen. And a big thing is going out to bars, social life. I want you to have a social life, but don't spend $100 at the bar every week. If it's something, it's an occasion, cool. It's for a one-time thing. But it's little things to kind of pay attention to kind of start saving you money. If you're always at the bar spending $50, going to it with only $20, $30 in your wallet, so you limit yourself, is probably one of the best ways you can manage your money. The next part is, once we figured out our saving, now it's about how we can make our money work for us. I had the issue in undergrad that I was just saving a lot of money, but it was just sitting in my savings account and it wasn't doing anything. I'm getting some interest every month here and there and over the year, but it's not a lot. So what I've started doing was start investing. So I have the Robinhood app on my phone. I got a couple investments with that. And then I also spoke with a family financial planner. She's got me started on, checking out all types of mutual funds, index funds, and everything like that. So I'm also getting investments in that. The money that I have saved or have made that's extra from the money I've spent during the month, the first couple things go right into those investments. So I know I'm saving money for later down the road. If you're interested in getting started on this, go talk to a financial planner, or just start researching and looking into different types of investments and things that you could potentially get interested in. $50, $25 a month, it's something little, but it can go a long way down the future as long as you get started now, especially if you're a student like me in your early 20s, late teenage years. The earlier the better. Get started on investments. Another tip I have for you is, since you are a student, pay attention to the loans that you are taking out. I had the issue and run-in with undergrad that I was getting some federal loans and loans from the government through school, but it wasn't enough to cover all the tuition bills and then also for rent. Since I wasn't making a lot to kind of pay off my rent throughout undergrad, I used an alternative loan through Sallie Mae. The issue is, if you're going to take an alternative loan, you have to realize that their interest rates per loan that you take out is very high compared to a federal government direct subsidized or unsubsidized loan. If possible, try to borrow more from the government as much as you can compared to an alternative loan, because you have to realize those things accumulate every year, even when you're in school. So if you take out a loan for $5,000 in freshman year, and it's got a 5% interest rate, you're not going to be paying $5,000 once you graduate. It's going to be a lot higher. I can't do the math, but it's definitely not going to be $5,000. So that's something you have to take into account, is whatever money you're borrowing, you got to make sure you know how much the interest rate is, and find options if you can get that interest rate lower through somewhere else, or find a better alternative loan. I know at least with the federal government, especially now, because of COVID, they have a 0%. They're holding all their interest rates on every single loan of yours. So it's a great time, if you have extra money, to kind of start paying those down. So my big takeaway for you guys today is to just get started. Don't save it for later. Don't wait until I'll just do it next week. Just get started today. This is a whole good time to experiment now, especially if you're a student, especially if you're thinking about getting into grad school and you're not there yet, or even before you're working, to get started now, because once reality hits and you're working 40+ hours a week, it's gonna be a lot harder to get started on top of working all that time, to spend those extra hours to figure your budget out. And it will help you down the road to make better choices with your money, with your investments, with everything finance wise. So guys, if you liked the video, please hit that thumbs up button. Also subscribe if you want to hear more about this type of content or see any of my other content. And as always, thank you for tuning in to this week's video, and I'll catch y'all next time. Muscle memory is